I don't always make one-pot dinners, but when I do, they absolutely have to be easy, quick, and delicious. And plant-based and high protein, obviously. And both of the recipes that I'm showing you how to make today absolutely are. These recipes are gonna use lots of seasonal produce, tons of affordable pantry staples, so we're keeping things super easy peasy. And oh my God, these recipes are so cozy. They're like hugs in bowls. You're gonna love them. If that all sounds fun to you, let's get right into the first recipe. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed to Steamy Vegan already. And let's do this thing. First up, we're gonna be doing a white bean pumpkin chili. Yeah, what? Chili with white beans and pumpkin? Well, you know, when fall is falling, we pretty much have to make everything with some form of pumpkin or squash. It's basically like fall la. Sorry. Yeah, this white bean chili is just all sorts of delicious. We're gonna be using, well, really any kind of squash or pumpkin you want, whether it's a butternut squash or a pie pumpkin or a kabocha squash. Really any kind of pumpkin or squash will do for this recipe. It's very versatile, okay? In total, this recipe uses like 9 main ingredients plus spices and like water / veggie broth. So I'll go through the ingredients as we get crack-a-lackin'. Let's start with the first step by prepping all of our veggies. We're gonna start with our squash. So depending on the kind you're using, you're gonna want to cut it in half, peel the skin off. Some squashes and pumpkins have edible skins, but for some recipes, I like to just remove the skin to just keep the texture consistent. You're gonna need about 4 cups of cubed, chopped up squash. So cut your squash in half, peel it, cube it, set it aside. For the vegetable factors in this recipe, we're gonna be using a lovely red bell pepper and a poblano pepper, yep. These are mildly spicy. They're not quite as spicy as a jalapeno or a serrano pepper, so we're just gonna be using one of these as kind of our spicy base. But if you are sensitive to heat, you can always slice out the little membrane on the inside with the seeds so that it's much less spicy. Keep some of the seeds in though if you like a little kick in your chili, which I do. We're also going to be using 2 stalks of celery that you're just going to dice up. We're gonna dice up 1 small to medium-ish onion, and we're gonna mince up 4 to 5 cloves of garlic, or more. You know, garlic is one of those things you measure with your heart and your soul. That's all the veggie prep, not a ton, okay guys? So once that's done, we're gonna head on over to the stove and get cook-a-looking. Okay, so grab yourself a nice big old stock pot, soup pot, whatever, Dutch oven. We're gonna add about a tablespoon of a neutral oil. Let it heat up until it's nice and shimmery. Once it's HAWT hot, you can go ahead, add in the celery, onion, and garlic. Give that a little stir, and we're just going to let those sweat out for about 3 minutes, just until they're nice and soft, a little bit fragrant and delicious. So I'll just mention now, while the veggies are sauteing, this is a great time for you to gather all your spices. So what we've got here is 2 teaspoons of cumin, which is really nice and rich and smoky. And we've got a teaspoon of smoked paprika. Again, we're really going for like the smoky vibes here in this chili. Some black pepper, some salt, a little tiny bit of cinnamon, about a 1/4 teaspoon, and just for a fun autumnal twist, we're gonna add in 1/8 of a teaspoon, basically just a pinch of nutmeg. All right, so things have kind of browned a little bit. Things are looking good and well. So now we're gonna add in the bell pepper and the green poblano pepper. And along with that, we're gonna add in our spices, which I showed you a moment ago. We're adding in the spices now so they have a moment to just kind of toast in the pan, kind of release a lot of their aroma and flavor. While we let the poblanos and the bell pepper saute away for a couple minutes, now we can just rinse out our 2 cans of white beans. They can really be any white bean that you like. I'm using white kidney beans, aka cannellini beans, but they could be great northern beans, they could be navy beans, pretty much whatever you like. And at the same time, we're also gonna rinse out 3/4 of a cup of red lentils. We can do that right in the same strainer. The red lentils are gonna add a nice little extra dose of protein and fiber, and it's really gonna help to nicely thicken up the chili. It's gonna be so good. Beaut. Okay, in go the white beans and the red lentils, along with our 4 cups of chopped squash or pumpkin, and 5.5 cups of vegetable broth or water, or you could use vegan chicken broth. I've got some vegan chicken broth powder that I'm just gonna add directly to the pot. Give it all a good stir. Make sure all the lentils are kind of submerged under the water. Sometimes they can kind of clump up a bit, so just kind of break them apart and give them a good stir. Got a big clump there. Unclump. So now you're just going to cover the pot with the lid. Turn the heat up to high. We're gonna bring it up to a nice little boil. Once it's boiling, turn the heat back down to like medium. We're gonna let that simmer away for about 20 to 25 minutes, just until things are fork tender. We want to be able to pierce the squash or the pumpkin with a fork, and we want the lentils to be cooked through, dare I say, be a little bit mushy and broken down, because like I mentioned before, the lentils are what's really going to thicken up the chili and just be so cozy. All right, we're 45 minutes in the future, and isn't she a beaut? Thick, creamy, golden, dreamy. Now, the last thing I'm gonna add to the chili before we devour it is a 1/4 cup of nutritional yeast. This is gonna add extra protein, extra B vitamins, and just overall delicious umami savoriness that is good in literally everything. Plus, it's also gonna sort of help thicken it up here at the end. Now, what if I told you that you could have a delicious high fiber, high protein cornbread muffin to dip and devour with a hot steaming bowl of chili in 90 seconds? Would you believe me? No, you probably wouldn't. But it's the truth, y'all. And it brings me to the sponsor of today's video, which is WellBean. These are their cornbread muggins and their mug muffins. Yep, all you gotta do is literally mix a scoop of this stuff with water, and you have a seriously delicious, high protein, high fiber cornbread muffin that you can eat with just about anything you dang well please. These cornbread muggins have a whopping 9 grams of fiber and 9 grams of protein per muffin. It's crazy. That's like significant. These ones are made with obviously cornmeal, but they also infuse it with beans in the form of lupini beans. Yes, you get a half a serving of beans in each muggin, which is pretty awesome. We all need to be eating more beans. Beans are so good for us. They're so full of fiber and protein and healthy complex carbs. They help to lower your cholesterol. They help to improve your gut health and digestion, among so many other things. And I seriously love everything I have tried from WellBean so far, including their little bean bars, which you guys have to check out. If you guys want to order yourself some muggins, they've got a few varieties, not just cornbread. Definitely check out their website below. I've got a sweet 15% discount code for you guys that you can check out below. I hope you guys give them a try. I think you're gonna love them. Oh hey, it's me from the next day. Yeah, look a little different. I had to run literally like right after I finished cooking my pot of chili. Kind of cut my filming time short. Had to go to my in-laws. But I ended up bringing some of my chili to their house and they loved it. Let me just say, so that's nice. This is, just, do you see this? It's so creamy, so thick, creamy, dreamy, so full of beanies. For real though, topped with a little bit of sour cream, some cilantro, and one of those cornbread muggins from WellBean. Y'all, it's even better the next day. Absolutely a must make chili this fall and winter. That cornbread is so good. You understood what I was saying, right? Quick little side note before we move along to the next recipe. Make sure you guys are subscribed below to Steamy Vegan. I do all sorts of high protein, plant-based, delicious, and mostly gluten-free recipes on this channel all the time, twice a week in fact, and I don't want you to miss out on anything. So hit the notifications bell while you're at it so you get notified when my new videos drop every week. And join the fam, it's a lot of fun here. Okay, moving on to recipe number 2 of our cozy one-pot meals, none other than vegan butter chicken. Yes, you guys, I have been making some form of this for forever. It's actually one of the very first recipes I ever learned how to veganize, and for good reason. It is cheap, easy, and delicious. Honestly, it's like restaurant quality, and you wouldn't believe it based on the simple ingredients we have before us here. What we're going to be doing to make the vegan buttered chicken is we're actually going to be substituting chicken with soy curls. Often I will do this with tofu, and you totally can if you can't get your hands on soy curls, and I'll have that in the recipe below on how to sub out the soy curls for tofu. Okay, so the very first step of this recipe, if you're using soy curls, is we gotta rehydrate them, as I mentioned. So grab yourself a large bowl. We're gonna dump in our soy curls. And then just with some boiling hot water, you're just gonna pour enough water over top of the soy curls until they are fully submerged. Now just let these rehydrate, sit about for about 5 to 10 minutes while we do our veggie prep. So let's get into our quick veggie prep, and there's not too much, which is one of the great things about this recipe. We gotta prep our aromatics, being garlic, onion, and ginger. So we're just going to finely dice 1 small to medium yellow onion and about a 1 to 2 inch chunk of ginger. Really depends on your preference because ginger adds quite a lot of heat and spice. I like it spicy, so I'm gonna do a 2-inch chunk. And then for a lot of extra flavor, we're gonna add 4 cloves of garlic, but again, you do you when it comes to garlic. Lastly, now this is not something I often add to my butter chicken, but I'm adding in some tomatoes only because I have an abundance of them and I literally need to use them up like yesterday. So we're gonna chop up about 3 Roma tomatoes, but this is optional. You don't have to use tomatoes. We are going to be using tomato sauce in this recipe, which is gonna give it that authentic, very luscious butter chicken sauce. But if you don't have tomato sauce, what I did was just stir 1 small can of tomato paste with 2 cups of water to make tomato sauce. Little tomato paste hack for you. Let us go over yonder to Le Stove. Okay, so welcome to my frying pan. We've just got 1 or so tablespoons of a neutral oil heating up. You could also use coconut oil. Now we're gonna just start by sauteing all of our aromatics. So the onion, the garlic, and the ginger. Give those a little toss. And we just want them to get nice and fragrant, maybe get a little bit golden and brown in the pan for about 3 minutes. In the meantime, while those aromatics saute, you can go ahead and strain out your soy curls. Oh! Try not to, drop the whole thing in the sink. I just like to drain out the excess water just by putting it in a sieve over the sink, pressing down just to kind of squeeze out any remaining liquid. If the soy curls aren't too hot, you could also just squeeze them with your hands, but mine are still pretty screaming hot. So now we can add in our spice blend. Allow me to explain. We've got a lot of things going on. Full measurements are below in the blog post. We've got cinnamon, chili powder, some salt. I've got a little bit of coriander, cumin. I've got some turmeric, and I feel like I'm probably forgetting something. But it's all below. It's a lot of delicious spices. Let me just tell you that. We're just gonna give them a real quick toss. We want them to toast in the remaining oil that's in the pan. This is gonna help to really bring out all the flavors, kind of bloom them in the pan, if you will. That's just like a blast of smell right to the nostrils. Okay, we're only gonna let the spices toast for about a minute because we don't want them to burn. So now we're gonna add in our tomatoes, our 2 cups of tomato paste, plus a can of full-fat coconut milk. This is something I totally forgot to mention in the beginning and show in my ingredients. I just had a brain fart and forgot this one. But this is gonna add such silky smoothness to the sauce, OMG. Okay, this is basically the sauce here, guys. It's just tomatoes, tomato sauce, and coconut milk. And obviously, all those spices and aromatics. We're just gonna give this all a real quick little stir. We just want the coconut milk to really blend into the tomato sauce. And then once it's nice and blended, we're gonna add all of those hydrated soy curls, AKA the chicken of the plant world. Fold in the soy curls. Get them all nice and coated in that sauce, which is already starting to deepen in color as it heats through. Now we're just gonna put a lid on her, turn the heat up to medium high, and we're gonna let it come to a rapid simmer like this. Yoink. Okay. Heat down to medium low. Just let her simmer. Just let her simmer for about 20 to 25 minutes. Basically until the color has gotten to this really deep, rich, reddy orange and the sauce is thickened up a little bit. So now all that's left to do is to add our 1 can of chickpeas. These are already cooked, plus a 1/4 cup of some nutritional yeast. This is something I always add at the end, just to add a little extra boost of flavor, a little bit of umami, savory goodness, and some extra protein and B vitamins. And then just let the chickpeas heat through for about 3 minutes. Y'all, serve this up with some cooked brown or white basmati rice, a little sprinkle of cilantro, maybe a garlicky piece of naan bread. Heck, all of the above. You can't go wrong with this dish. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, it just smells so rich. Never disappoints. It always is just so good. Exceptional. Rich, spicy, creamy, tangy, flavorful. It's everything. Let me know in a comment which of these cozy one-pot dinners you are gonna try first. The recipes are in the video description below, or you can head to STEAMYVEGAN.com. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here and being a part of my Steamy Vegan community. Subscribe to that below if you're not already part of the Steamy Vegan fam. I love you, and I'll see you in another video real soon. Ta-ta!